Hey everybody, and welcome to our first phone review on Planet Tech. Today we're going to be looking at the LG Power. Does a budget phone actually work as a phone? And our sponsor today is Finesso, the creators of the awesome Handycam and monopod for your camera and phone. Hey guys, and welcome to our first episode. Today we're going to be looking at the LG Power with a 4-core 1.2 gigahertz, a 217 dpi screen, 4.5-inch screen, a 5 megapixel camera, and a 3 megapixel front camera. This little guy does pack a little beast inside, so for a cheap camera it is actually pretty decent. So this little bugger's packing Android version 5.01. So this guy's by no means an old last gen system. Inside is a pretty well balanced version of a Lollipop that keeps it going on about 1 gig of RAM. Powering the guts of the system is a ARM Qualcomm and Adreno 306. Now, not super powerful, but better than previous predecessors that had issues actually performing tasks. Scoring a 465 in single and a 1448 in multi-core. Though this phone doesn't come with the latest chipset, it does come with some awesome features seen in the upper models, such as touch to turn on, touch to turn off, and some very awesome animation effects. Buttons are placed on the back to increase and lower volume and to turn on the phone. Volume, again, is not the best suit due to the speaker being placed on the back, but it is adequate. Angles are also very adequate on this screen as they are very vibrant, though not the best in its class, but sufficient enough to get you through your day. Thanks to the dedicated Adreno 306 GPU, games that are played on this phone are actually very nice. While not as good as higher end phones, it has improved since last year. With the dedicated GPU, animations are smooth. Lower end games or less demanding games are actually quite good and play as well and look just as good as newer video games and or newer phones. Today we're going to be playing Angry Birds, Nova, and Modern Combat. Scenes that used to have issues no longer have issues with the large amount of transparencies that your CPU and GPU are processing, and larger games that had more high poly count are now be able to be played fairly nicely without any huge issues. What really surprised us, though, was the ability to play modern combat with such smooth frame rate, with such high poly count, and with graphics still within acceptable range in this price point. This phone is very nice for around the $70 to $90 mark, depending on where you pick it up. And if you are into gaming, this phone does allow it. We have seen other games within this price point, such as the LG Ultimate 2, which were very nice and we still like it, but didn't have the ability or the dedicated GPU strength to play certain games like Modern Combat. As you can see, it is playing very smoothly. There's no issues. However, we would have liked to see improvements. 1 gig of RAM is acceptable. On this price point, you're lucky you're not on 512 or even lower. But it does have an issue of only having 8 gigs of RAM. And after installing, you are stuck with 3 to 4 gigs of RAM. We would highly suggest that you get a SD card within the 4 or maybe 8 gigs of RAM. The cameras aren't as good as the LG Ultimate 2, but other than that, it feels really good for the price point. You can find this through multiple carriers such as Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, and even unlocked. Ours is the unlocked version so that we could carry on or move to different networks if need be. So this phone would actually be very good for a person who doesn't like actually having a contract, or for the type of person that keeps losing their phone, or for your kid's first phone. If you would like to have a phone that is really, really nice, but you don't want to pay a large amount of money for it, a $90 phone is actually pretty good. You can go up to around, still within the $90 market. Remember, we can find this on the internet anywhere between $70 to $90. So we'll put the links down below. But if you stay at the $90 market, you can find other phones that have 2 gigs of RAM, even though they're clocked as slower 1 gigahertz, and this is clocked at the 1.2 gigahertz level. So not too much of a difference there, but we'll have to see and test out some other phones to actually see if there is a large difference between the around the $100 mark when you have the 2 gigs of DDR3 RAM and the lower in hertz speeds. So if you guys like this review, please comment down below on what other phones you would like me to review or to test out. We did have this phone sent to us, but we'll send you guys the link down below. They do have really awesome deals on phones, and so we'll give you the seller down below that sent us this phone for our review. We'd like to thank you guys for watching and for hitting the like button. If you hit the dislike button, please explain why down below, and we'll improve on our reviews. This is our first phone review, and we actually really enjoyed it. So if you did too, guys, remember hit the like and subscribe button and comment down below. We'll see you guys in another review.